Hey guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Dr. Tom LaHue. We're going to be talking about the sin of Enneagram Type 4, otherwise known as envy. Thanks for joining me for this video. You can go to my website, tomlahue.com. It's listed in the description below. I do offer Enneagram coaching. What is that? Well, it's like life coaching, but it's based on the Enneagram. So, when we know the Enneagram, it tells us a lot about ourselves, a lot about our motivations, and a lot about the people that we're trying to get along with and in relationship with. And it's a fantastic tool to not only learn more about ourselves, but the people that we love and interact with, and to have the best relationships possible. Realize, guys, I'm an Enneagram 7, which means I just want you to be happy. I just want you to be content. I want you to have a great life, to live an inspired life, to be passionate about what you do. And sometimes in life, we can lose that passion, lose that joy, lose that excitement, and our relationships can suffer. And I don't want you to suffer. I want things to be better for you. And so I'd love for you to consider working with me. Look at my Present to Life program. And also, as we jump into these notes today, I have these notes available for you. And just go to my store tab on my webpage and download the free PDF, the free ebook called Shadows of the Soul. And this little book has all of this information about Type 4s, as well as all the rest of the other Enneagram types as well. And it's free to you. It's just a free resource to help you on your journey. And let's jump into this information today, and let's see what we can learn about ourselves and the people that we love. So we all know Enneagram 4s are called the individualist, the romantic, the dramatist, the healer. A lot of different words for 4s. 4-wing 3 is called the aristocrat. 4-wing 5, the bohemian, meaning you kind of march to the beat of your own drum. That's why the never-ever behavior for a 4 is never try to tell a 4 what to do, because 4s tend to look inwardly to figure out who they are, what's important to them, what they want in life, and to understand themselves better. And we want to try to understand what's going on inside and how we can best interact with 4s to have the best relationships and the best interactions possible. Okay, so let's talk about the sin of the 4, which is envy. Now, I just, kind of did some research on what envy is. When I think of envy, I think of looking at somebody else and kind of feeling frustrated that they are where they're at versus where you're at. And I do already think of envy and jealousy kind of different. Jealousy, I tend to think of it as I have something that's mine and somebody else has taken it, and so I'm jealous for what is mine. Envy tends to look at something that belongs to another person and saying, I wish what they had was mine, or I wish that they didn't have what they have. So jealousy is not necessarily a bad thing. It's wanting what is rightfully yours and wanting that returned to you, where envy is desperately wanting something that isn't rightfully yours, that actually belongs to someone else. And so I just have this one little definition here. I wanted to read it to you. It says, envy is an emotion that occurs when a person lacks another's superior quality, another's achievement, or another's possession, and either desires it for themselves or wishes that the other person lacked it. And man, that is just so hard to read that out loud. It's bad. But every sin is bad. Every one of these sins of every type, anger, pride, deceit, gluttony, all of these things are not pretty. And it's going to force you to deal with some stuff in your makeup that maybe you don't want to pay attention to, or you don't really want to admit to yourself. But is there a part of you that when you see someone else, things are going well for them, their life is good, they have a lot of friends, they're popular, they're beautiful, they have a great job, is there a part of you that evaluates yourself against that? Just realize that a lot of us don't do that, okay? You need to understand that a lot of us don't do that. Like, I see someone else's success, and I don't necessarily think that means anything about me. Like, I feel like there's enough success to go around, or there's enough beauty to go around, or whatever it is, and I don't necessarily compare myself naturally with another person and their success. Maybe I should a little bit more. Maybe I should aspire to more, see them and think, wow, I could be more like that. Now, at times I do. It just isn't as troublesome for me as it might be for a 4 or a 3 or somebody in that worth and value group. and sometimes maybe even 6s. You know, I look at it and well, this isn't about me. This is about you. So let's keep it about you. So seeing someone else's success, seeing someone else's status, seeing someone else's possession, looking at that and immediately feeling like this communicates something about you, your status. You know, this is a message about you in some way. And notice 2s, 3s, and 4s, they do kind of make things about themselves, whether they realize it or not. You know, they're comparing themselves. And that's part of being in that worth and value group, I think. Anyway, so wishing that other people lacked it. Like there's something within you that says, you know, how did this person achieve this? You know, how did this person acquire this? And I bet they're not as fantastic as everybody thinks they are. And I need to get in close and figure out what's going on. And then if need be, like expose this person and show everybody that they're not as wonderful as everybody thinks they are. And this is a sticky disease, not disease, a sticky, problem. This envy thing is going to have repercussions in how you interact with people. It's going to have repercussions in the relationships that you have. It's certainly going to spin some things in your mind that maybe not good to dwell on. Okay, so discontent, resentful feelings. Envy can lead to feelings of sadness, ill will, and bitterness. Sadness, ill will, and bitterness. I mean, like those are like 3 awful feelings. I hate feeling those things. I can't imagine like this being constant. Envy specifically involves wanting what someone else has. This distinction, okay, complex and painful emotion. Yeah, because can you just come right out and say this? Like, I don't think you can just come right out and say this. Like, I hate her. You know, I hate the fact that everybody loves her. She's fantastic. I hate her. He's fantastic. He's so successful. I hope he fails. Like, you can't say that out loud. Maybe you can. You shouldn't say that out loud, but I mean, that stuff's spinning around inside of you. I'm just curious, is this what it's like? Is this what it's like? Do you experience this? What do you do to control this? What do you do to limit this? What do you do to answer your own questions and get yourself out of this state, this sadness, ill will and bitterness? And it's a painful emotion that can significantly impact personal well-being and interpersonal relationships. In other words, this is going to be a problem. And if it is a problem, stay with us. We're going to unpack more, and we're going to dive into this envy of Enneagram Type 4. So, like I said, download the notes. That's what I'm going to be looking at. They're available for you. You can read all of this. Maybe it'll bring something to the surface that you can work through. Or if you love a Type 4, maybe you're married to a Type 4, or you've got a child that's a 4, or somebody in your life, this might help you understand more of what's going on beneath the surface. And then you can appreciate the fact that they're not always acting out of this. Like if this was going on continuously in your head, to not act on this, you should be, applauded. You should be encouraged. Okay, so let's look at the notes. Enneagram Type 4s are often described as individualists and romantics. We got that. They are known for their deep sense of identity and emotional depth and a desire for authenticity and personal significance. And I think, some other types, like, maybe 9s, they might have questions of identity as well. But I think that's kind of the difference, is 9s have questions about their identity. Who am I? Why do I matter? What do I care about? What's important to me? How come I don't know the answers to these questions? I think 4s, kind of a long time ago, they tried to settle those things, and now they tend to be very confident about their identity and then desire to express that unique identity to others. So other types may care about identity, but I think 4s, really, this is kind of your position, like you own this. Sense of identity, emotional depth. I realize from a 7, that's something I could work on, emotional depth. I don't know how I feel about that. I need to grow in my emotional depth. I'm not sure how I feel about that. I'm just trying to be funny. An illustration of not having emotional depth. Type 4s possess a keen sensitivity to beauty. You tend to, see beauty and also often beauty in the brokenness, and are drawn to the expressive, dramatic, and aesthetic aspects of life. They often feel different from others. Like you may just know you're different. You may not be sure, like at an early age, you may not know what it is about you that makes you different, but you know you're apart, you're distinct, you're separate in some way. And this could really cause repercussions in your family. When your family just thinks, what's the problem? We love all of you. All of us are together. We all sit at the table. We all go into church together. And you're, differentiating yourself and moving yourself away from these people that are trying to love you because maybe there's something going on within you that says, well, I'm more than just one member of this family. I don't want people to define me or limit me in this way, or just see me as one of the sisters or one of the brothers in this family. I know I'm different. I know I don't fit in. I know I don't belong. Now I need to figure out what it is about me that makes me different. And I did a video a while back on the defense mechanism of type 4s. It's called introjection, which is where 4s tend to borrow bits and pieces from the greater world around them, sort of trying on these different aspects. Like maybe, I see this person in cowboy boots. Well, that's different. Not everybody wears cowboy boots where I live. And so maybe I need to try that. Maybe I need to bring that in and incorporate that. This person, they wear whatever it is, the tattoos or something, and I need to take from that, or nose piercings, or whatever, the way you cut your bangs, or the kind of glasses you wear. And so borrowing, think very kind of postmodern, like borrowing from all different aspects of other people's identities and incorporating them to create your own unique, special identity. And again, I always think, I'm not sure how to respond to this, or I don't think other people would know how to necessarily respond to this appropriately. Like we can see sometimes on the surface you being very different, but maybe people ignore that because they're not sure. Are they supposed to address it? Are they supposed to say, wow, look at you. You look very different. Wow. And so sometimes I think you may not get the response that you expect, or you may not even be wanting a response, cognitively thinking about that, or you may want people to stop judging you based on how you look, and so I'm going to affect the way I look so that people don't just see me as this beautiful person, that they have to really get to know me, and so I'm going to sort of push back a little bit with the way I look, startle them a little bit, or shock them a little bit, or not fit into the norms, so that the people that really want to get to know me will have to press in beyond that exterior appearance in order to really get to know me. Guys, I'm just trying to figure it out, okay? If you're looking at me saying, oh, wow, Tom, you got this all wrong, I might. I'm not opposed to realizing that I may not have things right. I'm trying to understand the way another person thinks, and that's challenging for all of us. So put the comments in. I never tell you to like, comment, and subscribe, but like, comment, and subscribe. If you're just glad that I'm having this conversation, then like the video. Even if you don't feel like I got it all the way perfect, realize there's not a lot of people out there trying to figure this out, or trying as hard to figure this out and understand it. Because guys, I constantly work with people. I constantly work with couples. I work with 4s and 9s and 8s and everybody else. And a lot of times they're having relationship problems, and I'm trying to help them understand each other to have better relationships. So it's always a work in progress. Okay. And that's why I love doing these videos, because it forces me to keep learning and keep growing in my understanding, challenging myself to understand other people and their mechanisms better. So feeling different from others with a sense that something is fundamentally missing inside. Something's off. Something's incongruent. You could think of it like this, that every type, they're in a center. So 4s are in the worth and value center, or the feeling center, or the shame center. One type within each of those centers is going to go with the problem of shame. One type is going to go against it, and the other type's going to try to overcome it. And so when you think about it like that, look, threes, they're obviously trying to overcome the sense of shame or the sense of embarrassment by being very focused on setting goals and pushing themselves and working hard. And so you can see them trying to outrun this sense of not having value by accomplishing a lot. Twos, on the other hand, they go against this worth and value problem, this shame, and their sin is literally pride, which is the opposite of shame. So they go against that. And then look at fours, you kind of go with the shame. And there it is, that sense of feeling different, feeling broken, feeling that something is fundamentally off, feeling like something is not right. And you're kind of looking at everybody else saying, you guys are okay with this? You guys are okay? How are you okay? Like, don't you feel this sense that something's off? Don't you feel this unsettled feeling? And then this envy starts to creep up of like, I wish that I could be normal like these people. I wish that I could just go on with life as though nothing were wrong. I wish that I could just go on with relationships in life all as if everything was fine. But everything's not fine. And so there's this melancholy feeling that is often, typifies fours. There is this angst that often typifies fours and their music and their art and their creativity, that something is not right, something is broken, something is off, or something's wrong with everything. And I think fours just kind of accept that and wear that publicly, to the shock and dismay sometimes of other people. Like, oh my gosh, get it together, And I think fours are just more okay with it, or expressing it that way. So something is fundamentally missing in themselves that gives them a deep sense or profound sense of longing or melancholy. And longing is just, think of it as a very high idealism, that things could be better. Relationships could be better. The way we interact, or the setting, or the decorations of the room, or the music, that everything is off a little bit, and we could idealistic, remember sevens, ones, and fours are all idealists, this could be better. And there's this longing that things aren't the way they should be. And much like ones, there's this disappointment with life. And if you're a four, you know what it's like to live with disappointment. Disappointment affects all of us at different levels. And disappointment is just such a terrible feeling, to have this expectation of the way things could be and then look at the way things are and to feel that difference or feel that gap. It can completely keep you from being able to be present to life. It can keep you from being able to really experience the joy and the everyday. And it's a miserable feeling. I get it. I understand disappointment from a different perspective, from a seven's perspective, but I understand disappointment and I'm working on it. I'm always trying to deal with it. I'm always trying to accept things as they are, and they can't be as exciting or as fun as I would want them to be. The core sin or passion of type 4 is identified as envy. This envy, however, is nuanced. It's not simply about coveting what others have in a material sense. That would probably be more like a 7. Gluttony, like, oh, they just got a 4-wheeler. Oh, wouldn't it be cool? We should get a 4-wheeler. Oh, they just got jet skis. Oh, wouldn't it be cool? We should get jet. So it's not necessarily in that material sense. It's more of an immaterial sense of envying others. Like, I wish that, I could feel as put together, and I mean put back together, as this other person does. So it's rooted in a feeling that others possess qualities or happiness or fulfillment that I lack as a type 4. Like, look at them. They're just able to hold hands. They're just able to walk as if nothing's wrong. They're able to just relate to each other. They're able to just, stand there and smile. They're able to just laugh and do these mundane jobs. They're able to give their life, 30 years of their life, to this factory job of just pulling this lever. I just can't do that. They're able to just enjoy this popular music. They're able to just enjoy this popular food, and I there's something within me that says you just can't enjoy or be okay with things as they are, with the mundane. there's this sense that something's wrong or something's off, or that we're missing something, or we don't quite fully know what our purpose is, or we don't really fully quite know what the mission is here that we're trying to accomplish. There's this sense that something's wrong. Now, remember, it can be hard. Okay, so be patient. It can be hard to be in a relationship with someone who there's always something wrong. I mean, can you see that? Obviously, it can be difficult for the other person who's in a relationship with you to be okay when there's always something wrong with you. It can be challenging. And so you may find it challenging to find another person in your life that is okay with you having these kinds of problems all the time. Because other people might push back and be like, you know what, I can't take this. There's always some problem. There's always some, dramatic issue that is troubling you. And you should be happy. Yeah, after all I've done for you, after all the attention and the care and the, support that I give you, it's just never enough. And people might, move away from you, or you might find yourself moving away from them. And that troubles me. It troubles me because I want you to have great relationships. So a frustration or an envy of other people's happiness, their sense of, everything's okay, their fulfillment that you might lack as a 4. The sense of deficiency. Wow, what a great phrase there. A sense of deficiency. Like, I don't have everything that I need in order to be okay. Like, I was dealt a hand that I can't win with, but somehow I'm supposed to stay in the game. Somehow I'm supposed to pretend like everything's okay. And one of the words that characterizes 4s is perseverance and endurance, because underneath there's all this endurance, and other people might feel like you're not enduring, like that you're caving in or you're collapsing. But in the 4, I think they would see themselves as constantly having to endure, constantly have to talk themselves out of their, whatever deep, dark hole they could tend to fall into. So a sense of deficiency can lead type 4s to idealize, again, an idealistic type, idealizing other people's lives. Like, oh, look at them. They're so happy. Oh, look at them. They're so together. Oh, look at them. They love each other so much. Oh, look at them. Now, I'm overemphasizing this. You may be watching this and be like, gosh, Tom, I'm not like that at all. Okay, good, great. I'm so happy. That's so thrilling to me. Either, maybe you're a self-preservation 4 that more naturally pushes against this, the counter 4, or maybe you just had to learn to self-regulate. But there got to be some 4s out there that know what I'm talking about here, okay? Because I understand this, and I'm not a 4. Every human, I think, gets this, and we all, at times, struggle with this, but that's the difference, is at times. It's not a constant challenge for me or for other types. So they tend to idealize others' lives while devaluing their own experience. And so there's this sense that life is like this, right? Other people, and then there's me. Other people, and then there's me. And this will create that sense of envy. And often what's interesting is when you're around a 4, you kind of feel the opposite. The aristocrat, the way that 4s sometimes interact with us, it's like they project that feeling onto us. I realize you can't make me feel something, but the experience is kind of, like I'm somehow less. I always use the illustration, of a 4 looking at you saying, oh, are you eating white bread? And you're like, yeah. Uninformed vulgarian eating white bread. Now, you might not say that out loud, but I'm overemphasizing, right? Hyperbole. There's this sense that I think what's going on in the 4 is they tend to sometimes feel like this, but one of the ways they compensate is to sort of overcome that and often project that feeling out on others. That we may be uninformed, or we may not be eccentric like you are, or we may just be mundane, or we may be passé, or whatever French word you want to throw at it. Okay, so idealizing others' lives while devaluing their own experience and devaluing their own achievements and devaluing your own beauty and kindness and awesomeness. You're an awesome person. You don't have to try to work hard to be an awesome person. You already are. Okay, and there are people out there that will love you and will relate to you and care about you just for who you are. Like, you have nothing to prove. You have nothing to prove. And you have a unique personality whether you realize it or not. Like, all of us are unique, all of us are different. You can't help but be different, and yet in some ways we're all the same. And that is the great, mystery or the great beauty in life here is you may find yourself working really hard to attain something that you already have. You already are unique. You already are special to someone. Who's the them that you keep making all these changes for? Who's the them that needs to respond to you in a certain way? I realize the same thing happens to sevens is, when I'm focused on trying to attain happiness, rarely do I do it. When I can let myself go and not chase after happiness, often I find it. And like this quest for happiness, or this chase, this constant chase for the next exciting moment of happiness, it often causes it to elude me. When I can relax that chase and just allow myself to be present to life around me, often what happens is happiness is a byproduct. It just happens. And I wonder if the same thing might be true for all of us in a sense. And so devaluing your own experience, devaluing your own achievements, and devaluing, your own awesomeness. It can also drive the desire for what is seen as authentic and significance, leading to a disdain for the ordinary and mundane. Or, well, that's what everybody likes, so I can't like that. And realize there's reasons why things are popular. There's reasons why people like Mexican food. Because it's good. It's really good. And there may be something within you that says, I can't allow myself to just like what everybody else likes. I can't allow myself to just like popular music or popular dress. I can't just go out there, in a polo and khakis and some Buster Brown shoes and think everything's okay, because that's not being true to myself. That's not who I am. There's a reason why people like popular things. Now, it's fine for you to like what you like. I'm not telling you don't like what you like. I'm just saying you may sometimes paint yourself into a corner and miss out on a lot of wonderful things or experiences or relationships in life because there's maybe something within you that tells you you can't like what everybody else likes. I've got to find that movie that nobody else knows about. I got to find that author that nobody else knows about. I got to find that music, that band that nobody else knows about. And you may be missing Van Halen. Like, what's better than Van Halen? What's better than Led Zeppelin? What's better than the Beatles? What's better than, these people are tried and true. Rush and Styx and Boston and all the stuff, that I love, that just seems normal. Of course, I'm showing you my generation here. But, if you're a 4, you may think like, well, I can't like that because that's what everybody else likes. And I'm not like everybody else. I'm different. And so therefore I need to push those things away. And I need to find that special, unique band that is special and unique like me. And then watch this. When people say, no, I've never heard of that band. Oh, really? You're an uninformed vulgarian because you don't know. And notice that stuff going on again. And people are going to think, why can't you just like... All right. So the focus on what is lacking can sometimes prevent 4s from recognizing and appreciating the beauty and the value that is around you and is in your life and that is you. Because that sense of something broken, that sense that something's lacking, that sense that something is deficient. And let me just say it is for all of us. Like, think in a perfect world, my understanding of the Enneagram, I can't prove this, of course, but my understanding of the Enneagram is at one time, the Garden of Eden, at one time, we weren't stuck in one of these personality types. We kind of had the best of all of them. We had the creativity of 4s, we had the excellence of 3s, we had the love and concern of 2s, and the goodness and integrity of 1s. Imagine like we're moving around this without the sin of any one of these. And now we're sort of all of us stuck in one of these primary perspectives or ways of looking at life. And we're broken. Every one of these types is broken. Now, every one of them has their strengths. I've done videos on the strengths of each type, okay? But I don't tend to focus on the strengths of the type because I don't think the Enneagram primarily shows us how we're strong. It shows us how we're broken. You don't study the Enneagram to become a perfect person. You study the Enneagram to realize you're broken and to see how you're broken. It's like a mirror that shows it back to you. And it's very uncomfortable. And it can be very, humiliating to face your brokenness. But I think you guys as fours, there's a reason why you're called the healers, is because you're in a sense, you're supposed to be leading this charge. Like, hey, everybody, do you know you're broken? Hey, everybody, do you know you're broken? Because fours, you tend to feel this already. And so, like fours, it's not uncommon for them to want to talk about their tragedies. Let's talk about the worst things that have ever happened to you. Let's talk about the worst things or the things that embarrass you the most. And realize, like sevens, nines, ones, threes, we don't want to talk about our tragedies. But look, you kind of like lead this. And this is why, again, I think you're called the healers, because you understand the disease, or you should, because you're greatly affected by it. You understand the disease of brokenness. And so you tap the seven on the shoulder and you say, hey, seven, you're broken. Hey, sixes, you know what? You're broken. And so the Enneagram, I don't think it shows us how we can get to like this, enlightened state where we don't need any help, where we're perfect. I think it's the opposite. It shows us, hey, do you know we're all broken? In some peculiar ways. And the more we understand this, maybe the brokenness doesn't have to ruin our lives. Maybe it doesn't have to destroy our relationships. Maybe we can learn to push back a little bit, gain some maturity, and realize when our brokenness is affecting us and keeping us from moving toward what we really want in life. And what do you really want in life? I already know. The same thing we all want in life. Like, you want to be healthy spiritually, you want a great relationships, you want friends and support, you want to feel like your life has purpose and meaning, you want to feel like you're contributing in some significant way, you want respect and admiration of the people around you, you want to feel closeness and intimacy and connection, you want happiness and joy and fulfillment. We all want these things. And sometimes we get in our own way and become our own worst enemies and keep ourselves from being able to receive the very things that we want in life. And you say, what are you talking about? Let me read this sentence again, okay? This can keep fours from recognizing and appreciating the value in their own lives. And so what I'm saying is there are people around you, or have been in your life, that want to love you. They want to know you. They want to connect with you. But you might your tendency to focus on what's lacking in the relationship, or lacking in them, or lacking in this marriage, or lacking, in this friendship, or lacking in those individuals, might keep you from ever really opening yourself up to allow these people to really know you and love you. Yeah, but they don't know me. Okay, well, do we all ever really know anyone? How much do we really get to know? There's like closets, right? We make it into the first one, the second one, but maybe we never make it past the third or the fourth one. Maybe we don't want to. Maybe some things are only for you to know, you and God to know. Okay? All right, so this can lead to cycles, cyclical thinking, right? Patterns, ingrained patterns that just play over and over, tapes that just play over and over in your head. This can lead to cycles of longing. I want that. Dissatisfaction. Yeah, but not like that. I want a relationship, but not like that. I want somebody that loves me, but not like that. I want to have this wonderful experience, but not like that. Can you see the problem here? Like, imagine trying to be in a relationship with that. That's going to be exhausting. Like, I want to have a party, but not like that. I want to listen to music, but not like that. I want to go to a concert and have fun, but not like that. So longing for experiences, longing for relationships, longing for intimacy, longing for friends, longing for closeness, longing for a life filled with meaning and purpose, but then dissatisfaction with the way things actually are. And then withdrawal. Then withdrawing away. And this is why that push-pull dynamic, that cat, illustrates fours. Leaning in, wanting this, but then pushing away because, well, this isn't the way I wanted it, or I'm losing myself, I'm losing my uniqueness in this relationship. and then the pursuit of a more authentic or idealized existence, this can become a great barrier to experiencing contentment and gratitude for the present moment. In other words, there's your life, and then there's your idealized life. And you could live so much in your idealized life that you're no longer really living in your life anymore. And I just want to tap you on the shoulders, and I just want to hug you. I want to say it's okay. You're right. We are broken. You're right. Everything should be better. Everything should be like the Garden of Eden, but it's not. Everything is ruined in a sense, and we got to learn to try to be okay in this ruined world that we live in, loving each other, supporting each other, and trying to make the best of things, and trying to live a life of meaning and purpose, even though we're not in a perfect state anymore. Wow, this is so good. Even if I'm wrong, this stuff is great. So even if I've got 4s all wrong, I really enjoy thinking about this stuff and talking about it. I'm being inspired. Even if I don't have it all, maybe I've got it 80% right. You know what? I'm okay with 80% right. I'm okay with 80% right. I moved to 100, but I'm never probably going to get to 100% right. But I'm enjoying 80% right. Okay, for growth and healing, type 4s benefit from recognizing the beauty in the ordinary. Wow. Look how that just pushes against the envy. You know what kind of like the cure of the envy is gratitude. Like next time you feel envy, okay, here's an exercise for you, a challenge. Next time like somebody gets up and they sing and wow, everybody thinks they're great. Wow, they sang it perfectly. I hate her, I wish she was dead. Okay, next time somebody gets up and they sing and they do a great job, like catch yourself feeling the envy, like this somehow means something about me. Catch yourself thinking that way, and then like make yourself not in that unhealthy 2 way, you know, you're lying to 2, but make yourself like have gratitude, like wow, that person really does have a gift. That person is amazing. They did a great job. Like thank you God that that person can have that gift. And then try to like maybe express that in a way that's not creepy and slimy. Like, oh wow, you did so great. Don't do it like that. I mean, just walk up and say, you know what, you did a great job. That was fantastic. That was so well done. And then catch yourself like thinking that this means something about you. Because it really doesn't. It really doesn't mean anything about you. We all have our unique gifts. We all have our talents. We all have our abilities. And they're all different. And so let people succeed. Let people have great lives. Let people have wonderful interactions. Let people have fantastic lives. Like there's enough fantastic life for all of us to go around. I don't need to steal yours or resent you for having that or try to rob you in any way of your experience. And when I feel that impulse, like push that down and say, there it is again. There I go again. You know, a 4 feeling the stuff 4s feel. And I need to now push back against that and have gratitude for all of the wonderful things in my own life and all of the wonderful, beautiful things that have happened to me. But notice your tendency is not to focus on those things. It's to focus on how you've been unjustly treated, how bad things have happened to you, and how it's not fair. It's not fair, and it's never going to get fair in this life. It's never going to get fair. And so your resistance to that is just going to keep causing you pain. Like when you can accept that, like it's not fair, it's not going to be fair, it's never going to be fair. They have their gifts, I have mine. They have their abilities, I have mine. They have their unique stuff, I got my unique stuff. And it's all good. It's all good. It doesn't mean anything bad about me. I love it. Okay, so beauty in the ordinary. Keeps you from seeing the beauty in the ordinary, and this feeling of incompleteness are a universal part of the human condition and not just something unique to you as 4s. It's just the rest of us may not play this tape as often as you do. Okay, learning to ground your self-esteem or your value or your worth. Actually, self-esteem is kind of in my opinion, it's a negative thing. Self-worth is a good thing. Esteem means like to lift yourself up or to esteem or exalt yourself. Worth is just like you understanding your value. So I tend to prefer the term self-worth, like a healthy self-worth. And what my notes here, what I'm saying is try to ground that in something other than maybe some of the things you've been grounding it in. Something more stable. Then your fluctuating emotions. Realize your emotions are telling you something, but it's not the only source of information, and maybe not the best source of information. Or the validation of others. Validation is a key word with you, whether you like to admit it or not. I know you probably don't want to face this. You probably don't want to talk about it. But I think about 2s and their need for appreciation. Look what I did for you. Can you acknowledge that? Never take a 2 for granted. 3s, the need for admiration. Never ignore a 4. Say, wow, you did a great job. Knocked it out of the park, Marty. Fantastic. Okay, they're looking for that admiration from others. Because all the worth and value types kind of operate with, I am what you say I am. And as a 4, your need is often for validation. Like, life sucks, life is hard, I was treated unfairly. And you need that other person in your life, or it's helpful for that other person in your life to say, gosh, that's terrible, I'm sorry that happened to you. Man, I can't even imagine what that's got to feel like for you. Wow, your ability to endure this is so inspiring. I'm sorry that things aren't better. I'm sorry that, and that is validation, and it is a form of admiration. It's a form of appreciation. It's a form of understanding someone's plight and then, giving significance to that. And 4s tend to thrive on this validation. If you're with a 4, if you love a 4, if you have a kid that's a 4, and they come to you with problem after problem after problem after problem, don't try to solve their problems. Offer advice if they want to hear it, but chances are they don't really want to hear it. Chances are what they really want is somebody to appreciate their plight, appreciate their challenges, and then to validate them in their challenges and validate them in their suffering. And say something like this instead. Instead of saying, well, you know what you did wrong here, you should work on that. Instead of trying to correct them in their problem, try to see them as somebody who tough things are happening to, and they're able to stand strong through it. And say to them, wow, I can't imagine how difficult this has to be for you. I'm really proud of you for being able to face these challenges. Is there anything I can do to support you or encourage you in this? Try something like that. Never tell a 4 what to do. Instead, pat them on the back and say, I can't imagine. Okay, let's go on. All right, so practices that foster gratitude, presence, and acceptance can help type 4s appreciate their own unique qualities and the richness that's already in their lives, reducing the intensity of envy and the feelings of being fundamentally different or lacking. So, what am I saying? Go out there on the beach and, put on your silk robe and dance for the seagulls. Dance for the dolphins. Be yourself. Express yourself. Express your beauty. Express your failures. Express your flaws. Express it in whatever way you want to that doesn't break any laws. Get the tattoo that means something meaningful to you. Write those lyrics to that song. This is where you guys are so rich. Express yourself. Embrace your 4-ness. I am a 4. I am an individualist. I am a romantic. I am a dramatist. I am a healer. I am not going to just conform to what everybody else thinks. I am okay being unique and different, and I am special, and I'm going to express that uniqueness into this larger world while trying to accept and embrace and receive all of the goodness that's pointed at me out there in this world. All of that love and all of that acceptance and I'm going to receive all of that. And here's where it gets awesome. I'm going to challenge others to face their own brokenness, and I'm going to challenge others to start to express themselves more authentically and honestly. I'm going to push beneath the surface with people. I don't want to talk about football. I don't want to talk about the weather. I don't want to talk about politics. I want to push down into people's core, like the third, fourth closet. And I want to help them unpack and sort through those challenging fundamental questions and problems that they have. And this is where you guys shine, doing this kind of work. digging in with people and helping us deal with all of our stuff that we don't want to deal with. Why? Because I'm a 7. I don't want to deal with that stuff. Wow. You know, here's a Bible verse for you, Proverbs 14:30. A heart at peace gives life to the body, but envy rots the bones. Envy rots the bones. Helping others see their uniqueness, helping others accept their life with the brokenness and the problems, and helping people see their individual contributions that they can make. Wow, what a great study. What a great video. What great information. Thank you for being on this journey with me. We're in this together. Let's all work step by step to try to improve our relationships, improve our lives, be more present to life, accept life as it is, love each other. Thanks, guys. As always, be present to life. I'll see you next time.